Hey gang, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Today we're going to talk about the huge Marvel Comics event. It is the end of summer officially.
Yes.
Civil War II #5, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by David Marquez. The end of the summer, which means we only have 3 more months until the end of this summer event. But hey, since it'll be collected in trade, and then a few years from now, no one will remember all of that horse shit.
Right.
It won't matter.
No, it won't.
So people will just read it as the self-contained, totally non-cash grab event that it is.
Right. At the same time, though, I'm really interested to see in the wake of this. Like, I legitimately am excited by this. What will come out?
Yes.
Because always after events, like in the long run, people start to be a little looser with what happened. You know, like the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, I'm
Who's
really
alive?
fascinated to see, not even just that, but the character. I mean, like the the company aspect.
Right,
of it.
that's
like,
true.
I'm really excited to see that. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
We have some guesses, but like, what's going on back there? And like, so I kind of look forward to that.
I would like to know what Marvel's thinking and doing right
Right,
now, and
I
where they're
know.
headed, and how it responds to the
Right.
experience of making this event. Tiffany, what'd you think of this issue as a whole?
Well, they started fighting.
Yeah. I don't care about these fights at all. I've seen them fight in every which way at this point, so
Right.
seeing the heroes fighting, I thought
Oh,
that was
I
the
didn't
weakest
either.
part of the issue,
I
and it was the
didn't.
bulk of the issue.
I really didn't care either. I did. You know what's interesting about this? I know, like, last issue, I was like, I don't care anymore. I still don't care anymore.
No.
But this issue made me start trying to come up with either actual theories or like out there theories on like, how could this be fixed?
Yes. What's
Like,
what's the explanation behind all of
what's
this?
the twist? What's the whatever that's going to make it all be okay at the end? And
Yeah.
like, that's what I found myself doing through most of the issue.
That's
I was
true.
like, oh, maybe it's this?
Well, what are some of your theories about what is going on?
One of my theories was that it's all tied into Ulysses, and
Naturally.
that he's actually affecting Carol Danvers and Tony Stark and actually everyone, and that's why they're acting so out of character. Then I had an even more Illuminati style, like the Inhumans are actually doing this to teach us a lesson.
Oh.
And then I went one step further, which is a disaster.
Naturally.
This is a disaster of a theory. This
Well,
is
let's
not
hear it.
even a theory.
Yeah.
This is like a what?
Why would you do that?
That somehow when Ulysses got his powers, the spirit of the Watcher got involved, and he just can't help himself.
That'd be cool.
So he's been watching, but now he's the
Oh.
meddler.
The meddler, I like that. The Guardians of the Galaxy show up in here in the fight, and it's just so flagrant and offensive, because there's no
know.
point. There's a moment where Stark and Star-Lord kind of face off in a way where you're like, oh, that's something I'll want to see in the movie someday. But in this case, it was just Stark being like, why are you here? And
Right.
Star-Lord being like, because Carol's my friend, forgetting the fact that Bendis wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy story arc in which Stark hung out with the Guardians as well. It was Stark and then Danvers.
Right.
And he's like, I'm your friend too, I did that as well. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, but she's more of our friend.
Right. And then he goes, well, what about the visions? And he says like, oh, I think they're great.
Yeah, you know what's weird? It's like Ulysses is, if he
Making
is
everyone
affected,
kind of stupid.
right? But it's also like he's like a child who just wants to see things.
Yeah. Like, I want to see Star-Lord and Iron Man fight.
But then, like, now these wishes and dreams have actual consequences.
Yeah. Well, he certainly does act like a child in that he is left out of the fight, so he uses his powers to force everyone to see another vision.
Right.
Which is the one you see behind us. And Ultimate Spider-Man
Spoilers!
kills that Captain America in the future. But oddly enough, there's a lot of questions that we have about it. Number one...
Is it the thing that's coming out of his chest? Because that was the first question.
What is that?
Because
Oh.
it sure looks like a Spider-Man, like,
Oh, God. I
That's
hope
what it
it's
looked like to
not
me.
A stinger?
yeah.
That would be depressing. I did notice, the only thing that I noticed was that Miles Morales looks several years older in this image than he does throughout the issue.
Yeah.
He's an adult.
I didn't even pay attention to that. I was so focused on what was coming out of his chest.
Yeah. But at
And
the
how
same time...
spider-related it was.
Yeah. But at the same time, Cap is wearing the same outfit, using the same shield that he has been for the last,
Yeah, like that.
arc. His like, throwback shield.
Yeah.
But if Miles Morales is several years older, there's no way that Cap would be wearing the current costume, because that's just how it goes. A couple of years from now, Cap's going to wear a different costume. You gotta throw something out there, but we had to instantly... But anyway, I just thought it was
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
A lot of that's the only moment that I actually kind of liked from the issue, was this, because I'm like, well, Cap is Hydra, and so Ultimate Spider-Man needs to defeat him because that's Bendis' favorite character and he created him, but at the same time, like, what a moment to show out of context.
Right.
That was the only moment. The whole book was just a bore fest until we got to this page. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you...
Not enough to justify the cover price or anything, but, you know.
I'm sure everyone's gonna... not everyone. I'm sure there are people who will disagree with me, but I personally don't think that Storm could break the Crimson Bands of Cyberpunk.
Yeah. She has the power over weather, and Doctor Strange has the power over magic.
Yeah, I was like... And part of it I knew was like, I'm like, well, no, that's my man.
Yeah.
And then part of me was like, but
magic,
still,
though. Come on.
And I gotta tell you, even if any of these theories are right, if he is psychically controlling them, like kind of we both said, I guess.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, like you have still kind of ruined some of these characters. You've put like this shadow of doubt over them.
Yeah.
Like Carol Danvers finally got like to be in charge of was it Sword? Is she in charge of Sword?
She's in charge of Alpha Flight, which is like the new Sword.
But you know, you're not gonna let someone. I mean, they might, but
they're not
like,
going to create policy based on one person's ability to see into the future. And that quickly...
I don't mean just that, but I mean, like, in the end, let's say, like, that all comes out, and it's like, you had your brain taken over, or you were influenced, you were under the influence of something. Like, are you a capable leader? I don't know.
No.
Like, are you going to just take her out of that role now?
Well, but because we know, thanks to the solicitations for October's Marvel Now, that Carol Danvers will be the winner of Civil War, or at very least... still have Alpha Flight and still be in charge and be, in fact, one of the most popular superheroes in all the world. Oh. That's how the solicitations have been spinning it. Maybe
this is one of those Dallas things where none of it's actually happening and it's just like a scenario that Iron Man is going through.
Yeah, it's all through his grief. He's in like a simulation.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I would rather that. I would actually rather that, I think, at this point.
Where it was Ulysses is an actual character, but then like he was going through what would happen.
Yeah, if he like started a civil war over it.
Or something like that.
That'd be cool, I'd take that.
Would it? I don't know. Maybe in a trade, this is probably a stronger, it's not a great read, but it could be a stronger read than the floppies.
Easily. Oh yeah. No, it'll be a very quick read.
Because it'll be fast.
It will, yeah. Marquez's art really like moves, and Bendis' writing, you know, he fills 30 pages with about 2 pages worth of story.
I know.
So that's just something he does. It's why like Ultimate Spider-Man is like the quickest read ever, even though there's like dozens of trades.
But like the art's great. It's fun to look at.
It is fun to look at.
I'm waiting to see where Bendis is. Like he really keeps focusing on the Hawkeye Matt Murdock thing.
Yeah, what is up with that?
The Matt Murdock thing you wouldn't really get unless you read the tie-in.
Yeah, that's true.
Which you did, so...
And probably a lot of people did, because they were looking for something to enjoy.
I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for this to be over.
Yeah.
And we don't have to wait for it to be over.
No, because it'll be over by October. Exactly.
So who cares, I guess. I don't know.
But that was last week. What's coming out this week that you're looking forward to reading?
So, I know we're just trying to limit it to one, but I'm going to give a quick shout out to Wacky Raceland #4, which is written by Ken Pontic, with art by Leonardo Manco. Still on board, still like the book. It's my favorite of the DCs.
Yes.
And also
the Hanna-Barbera books.
Yeah. DC Hanna-Barbera. I'm like, it's just DC now. It's so funny.
Yeah,
also Saga #38 has come out. So Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. If you don't know who that is by now, I have legitimately not stayed on board for a big 2-book long enough to reach an annual.
That's true.
And I finally did it.
Nice.
Because Doctor Strange annual #1 is coming out, written by Catherine Immonen and Robbie Thompson, with art by Leonardo Romero. I'm really excited about this. Like, I'm crazy excited about this because Clea is going to be in it. So I'm excited. She's back.
Why?
And like, it's still going to stay in line with the Last Days of Magic.
Good.
So that's kind of cool. I'd like to see her influence on this. I'm guessing she's not going to stick around, unfortunately.
Probably not.
It's a lot easier to have a swinging bachelor Doctor Strange.
You never know. So.
But because Clea is kind of his main squeeze, or had been for a while. So, I mean, he's had many loves.
Yeah.
Many.
So, my book is going to be Spider-Man Deadpool #9, written by Joe Kelly with art by Ed McGuinness.
Wait, like Joe Kelly, like I Kill Giants Joe Kelly?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he writes a good Deadpool. Believe it or not.
I don't believe that, but...
No, it's great. And it's a fine series. It's cool. You get to see Spider-Man and Deadpool crossing over / butting heads. Deadpool killed Spider-Man a bunch of times, and he came back to life. And we had some references to Mephisto and the Deal, and it's the only person who's actually referencing it in any direct way. It's kind of really cool. That said, Joe Kelly's maintaining the noble tradition right now of current Amazing Spider-Man story arc, which is that Peter Parker is a huge douche and just a complete knob. So Joe Kelly knows to maintain what is being touted in the main status quo. So
That's cool. That's good on him.
Yeah.
First of all, for not just being like, I'm going to ignore what's happening.
he is kind of ignoring it because, like, you feel bad a little bit for Peter Parker, unlike in the main title, which is just awful.
Right, all right, that's fair. But it's also got to be kind of fun to then see Deadpool.
Yeah, put against it.
Yeah.
Deadpool is more sympathetic than Peter Parker in a big bad way in this series.
Of course.
Despite the fact that we are getting, like, actual references to the Peter Parker from yesteryear. And it's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, because it's a fantastic series. And of course the art's fantastic. Joe Kelly knows how to write great characters. It's just cool.
Well, yeah, I know the man can tell an amazing story.
Well, yes, that's
so
true.
That's cool. I just wouldn't have pegged him for
A Deadpool?
Deadpool, especially if your first introduction to him is mine,
Yes.
which is I Kill Giants, and I'm like, that's not the leap I would have made.
No, but he's great.
That's awesome.
So that was Off the Rack this week, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week with another episode. I am Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long. Keep reading.